Hey everyone, and welcome to a special episode of Bleach Brave Souls, because today we're going to take a look back at 2018 and check out the characters that were released and talk about, what they were like and things like that. The new year is rolling up on us real quick, so I figured this would be a good time to do this video. And it's going to be a two-part series because there was 24 banners released in 2018, and for me to do it in one video would have taken a long time. So it's going to be a two-part series. We're going to talk about just the characters. There's been other things that have been improved in Bleach Brave Souls over the last year, but maybe I'll do that in a different video if you guys want. Personally, my favorite was the Soul Tree update, the one-click do the whole Soul Tree thing. That was pretty freaking awesome. So anyway, before I start to rambling, guys, let's get into it. Here we go. Okay guys, so the year kicked off, 2018 kicked off with Manga Round 2, featuring Bankai Kenpachi, Bankai Retsu, and Yachiru. Now this was a controversial banner because Kenpachi and Retsu, pretty much everyone was okay with, but when we saw that Yachiru was released with these characters, everyone was like, "Ah, man, they wasted a manga slot on Yachiru." And to be honest, I was in the same boat. I felt the same way because if you guys didn't know, they only scheduled to do 14 manga characters. So there was limited slots for manga characters. I think looking back, I think we all know that Retsu, arguably today, is still the best character in the game. She has damage reduction, she has a heal, she has flurry, she has poise, her special heals, and has a chance to insta-kill. Amazing PvP character. Even an amazing, PvE character for autoing or anything like that. Retsu can do it all. Best character in the game, in my opinion, to this day. So, and she's about a year old at this point. So, Retsu changed BBS I don't know, for better or for worse. That's for you guys to decide. Kenpachi, on the other hand, he was a strong character. Don't get me wrong, but for some reason, he just never became like a super top tier unit or a meta character. You can use him in PvP in some of the lower leagues and get by, but once you get to 3rd seed and up, you really can't make him work. He still is a very good character. He has a 20 strong attack damage soul trait, he has poise, he has frenzy, and he introduced the new mechanic. I think he introduced it, where you do the special and Kenpachi will transform into his red demon Bankai, where he does more damage and just has better range, I think. Does he have better range? I'm not sure, guys, but he gets better when you do a special for like 20 seconds or 30 seconds or something like that. So that was a new mechanic for Kenpachi. Still not a disappointment in my opinion, but we're so used to having Kenpachi as flurry that when they came out with a strong attack damage Kenpachi, it kind of threw us a curveball. But last but least, pink-haired Yachiru, the character that nobody asked for, but we got anyway. And unfortunately for this character, she just didn't live up to, the quality of the other characters. She's still a very strong character, but compared to the other manga characters that have come out, she's not really in the same tier. She is an upgraded 14 recharge soul trait, however, so she makes a good link. She does have very good SP, but the main killer for this character was that she didn't get frenzy, unfortunately. She does have bombardment, however. The Yachiru, not as strong as the Kenpachi or the Retsu or any other manga character for that matter, but still, a serviceable character. You load her up with 14 recharge, and she can do some damage. So that was the first banner of the new year. That was in a step up, guys, if you remember, for the global anniversary. Moving on to mid-January, we had kind of a step down in terms of hype. The characters that they came out with were Hiyori, Lisa, and Mashiro, the past versions where they were lieutenants. And these characters, they're still decent. I mean, they're still usable to this day, especially the Lisa. She's a raged character. She has a moving vortex. She has recharge as her soul trait. Did I say that already? I don't know. She can do paralysis on some of her stuff, and she has frenzy. So complete all-around package. Not the ultimate all-rounder, but still a excellent strong attack damage character for blue, and very usable in Guild Quest too when the situation arises. Hiyori, not so much. Still an upgraded link, also 25 strong attack damage for technique. She does have paralysis on some of her stuff, and she has frenzy, but other than that, not really too much more to say about her. The mechanics are decent, but not game-changing, not meta. but still a solid character all around. And Mashiro is probably one of the better ones in this bunch. It's between her and Lisa. She is also a recharge character. The thing about Mashiro is that she has the boost, and it's enhanced boost too. So you combine the enhanced boost with the recharge soul trait, and you could have the potential to have the eternal boost, like where she can keep 100% uptime on that boost for her and her team. And to kick it off, she has Frenzy. So Mashiro is still a solid character as well. Not a bad banner overall for a mid-month. Even though the characters aren't that hype, they are pretty strong. And still relevant to this day. And that's something I want to talk about too, guys. Everything in 2018 is still, for the most part, relevant. You can still use them in the majority of quests and do very well. So I want to say that K-Lab has pretty much mastered the power creep, or not mastered, but greatly reduced it. There's still characters that are a year old and even before that are still viable to this day. So shouts out to K-Lab for making that happen. End of the month for January, we had the Valentine's Day summons. That's the January 31st, I believe, and it was Halibel, Yoruichi, and then Nanao. Excuse me, I can't speak. 3 very good characters overall. Still usable to this day. Halibel, she had the 14 recharge, ranged character with the moving vortex, so excellent character. Yoruichi, also very good, 20 strong attack damage. She had Frenzy, paralysis on some of her stuff, like the special, and strong attack 3. And as is the case with all Yoruichis, she has the increased flash step built in, so she's a very fast character, a very strong character. And Nanao, I'm kind of on the fence about her. She is a healer, but she does have the 16 damage reduction soul trait, which is not really ideal for a healer, but still a decent soul trait nevertheless. She's a ranged character. She does have bombardment as well, but she does not have frenzy. So with any healer, you have these drawbacks in DPS. That's the price you pay for being a healer. So that's understandable. All right, guys, moving on. Let's roll right into the mid-month for February. And we got the first movie banner of this year, excuse me, not that year. I'm already thinking ahead. 2018. It was the Toshiro, what's the name of it again? Diamond Dust Rebellion. Sorry, guys. Diamond Dust Rebellion banner, which featured movie Toshiro, Kusaka, and Yin and Yang. So a lot of unique things happening in this banner. Well, maybe just one really. Yin Yang, she had the mechanic where she can switch between characters because she's technically 2 characters rolled into one. So when you're using, I think it's Yin. I don't know which one's fire, which one's lightning, but it says in her special. I should have looked that up, but I didn't. But one of them, when you're using the one character, she does fire procs, and when you're using the other character, she does lightning procs. So not really a huge difference. They did make special graphics for each character, Yin and Yang, which is very nice. A very visually nice character to look at. She has cool particle effects and stuff like that. And the switching mechanic is also pretty cool as well. She's a normal attack damage character with no affiliation, so killer advantages. There's not many people that will have killer advantage on her. She's still a really good character. 762 attack. For a Nad character, she's excellent. The movie Toshiro was also very good. Very underrated character in my opinion. He's a ranged character, a ranged Toshiro. 20 strong attack damage, freeze on everything, charge attack, frenzy. Yeah, the complete package. He's a very useful character that, to be honest, I don't really see him being used that much, even though he is that good. And I didn't really go deep in summoning on this banner because I wasn't really, none of the movie banners really excited me that much, but they are strong characters. And Kusaka, probably the weakest one in this banner. He is a DR Link. He's Captain Killer. He has bombardment, but he has normal attack damage and he has freeze. So I remember when he came out, people were speculating that he might be the Retsu counter, but it didn't really work out that way. Still a very strong and dangerous PvP character though, just because of his freeze. If he freezes you, you got a problem. Bombardment also helps as well. Okay, so that was mid-February, guys. End of the month for February, we had the remakes of Yamamoto, Mayuri, and Kaname. And this is a very, very strong banner, guys. All 3 of these characters are very, very useful. The Green Yamamoto, a meta character through and through. One of the top tier PvP units. Great auto character as well. He has damage reduction, flurry, burn on everything, and he has poise. And those are basically 3 of the 4 things you need for a meta PvP character. Flurry, DR, and poise. So excellent version of Yamamoto. I remember when this Yamamoto came out, pretty much everyone was like, oh, rip, that means he's not getting a manga version. Still, if you're a Yamamoto fan, you should be satisfied with this. He's a strong character. I mean, I too would like a Bankai Yamamoto, but this Yamamoto's very, very strong. And so is the tag team version, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. Mayuri, he never caught on as well. I haven't actually played Mayuri that much. I do have him, and he is a solid character. He has Frenzy, he's a 20 DR soul trait, and he has poison on everything. But the main thing with Mayuri is that he's mostly used as a link for any red character you might be using in PvP. So, I mean, unfortunately, I wouldn't say they did Mayuri dirty, but he needs to be a little bit buffed. They need to come out with a version of Mayuri that is meta, because Mayuri is one of the more powerful captains, in my opinion. He did work in the 1,000-Year Blood War. He should have got a manga version as well. I'm just going to say it right now. Him and Yama both deserve manga versions, but, there was only 14 slots, so what are you going to do, guys? Kaname, let's move on to Kaname. Captain Kaname, still a top-tier PvE unit, Guild Quest unit, raid unit, ranged, recharge, weaken, moving vortex, frenzy. He has a lot of stuff going for him. Excellent character to get to use to 10-10-10. So overall, end of the month for February, very, very powerful banner. Let's roll into March now, guys. Mid-March, which is the White Day banner. And, I'm kind of on the fence about these characters. I didn't get any of these characters, but they're all pretty decent. But they all kind of have something they're missing. White Day Stark, 25 strong attack damage link with Frenzy, but he doesn't have anything else. So he's a pure damage character, which these days isn't that great. He doesn't have a shield, he doesn't have any status effects, status ailments, boost, heal, nothing. So just straight up damage for White Day Stark. I will say that he is visually one of the more impressive characters that I've seen this year. White Day Kisuke, man, this character could have been something else, but they gave him the worst soul trait they could give him. And they've done this to Kisuke multiple times. White Day Kisuke got the 25 stamina recovery soul trait, which does nothing at all for his damage output, unfortunately, which is, he could have been a great character if they gave him recharge or strong attack damage, but it didn't happen, guys. He still has a lot going for him. He's a frenzy character. He's got a boost that's enhanced. He does paralysis on some of his attacks. So the only thing that holds him back is that soul trait. White Day Kisuke, however, still a very decent character. White Day Tsukishima, also a very good character, and normal attack damage ranged unit. He does have the barrier. He has weaken on his attacks. He also has bombardment, so very good White Day character. Anyway, moving on. End of the month for March. Now this was a very, very hype banner. It was Manga Round 3. Ichigo, Renji, and Rukia. And to be honest, I thought that Ichigo, Renji, and Rukia would be the finale of the manga characters. But they came out in round 3, and they were all actually pretty good. Manga Ichigo, the first ever normal attack damage flurry character. Double hits on his normals, ranged character. That has not happened before or since, so he did massive normal attack damage. It was kind of slow normal attack damage, but that's the trade-off you make for the flurry and the high damage. He also had a vortex, a moving vortex to go with it, and weakened defense on his special. So a very strong character that for some reason people didn't really get hype over. There was a lot of criticism about Manga Ichigo. People thought he should have had more, but looking back on it, I still think he's an excellent character. He does a lot of damage. He has a lot of utility with that moving vortex and the weakened defense. And he has great stats. So I don't think there's anything wrong with Manga Ichigo. Manga Renji, I do think Manga Renji was better than Manga Ichigo, just because of the mechanics of his strong attacks. Everything he does drives him forward, like quite a long distance. He's a recharge character as well, which is awesome with Frenzy. He has a charge attack, and his special can insta-kill. I actually have Manga Renji at 10-10-10, and he just destroys everything I throw him in. Manga Rukia, I also have Manga Rukia at 10-10-10. And I did struggle to get Manga Rukia. I had to spend a lot of orbs to get her. She was my most wanted character in this banner. Very strong character, strong attack damage link, frenzy, freeze on everything. She did bring that new mechanic to the game where when she does her special, she's surrounded by a frost aura for a few seconds that freezes enemies and does damage. And she's also freeze immune. So that's, actually I sometimes forget that she is freeze immune, but still a very strong character. 10-10-10. she's a beast. Overall, that banner was pretty dang good, guys. The Ichigo, he was controversial, no question. But I think that looking back on it, like I said, you realize that he is actually a very strong character. Okay, guys. Mid-April, we had Rangiku, Momo, and Omeda. So after the hype of Manga Round 3, they kind of like let it chill for a little bit and gave us the Lieutenant banner. This banner still, all three of them are very strong. They all have different things they bring to the table. The Rangiku has become a must-have for Guild Quest because she has the vortex that hits so many times. It's a frenzy vortex. She has a charge attack. She also has paralysis on her special. She does have that weak soul trait, which is stamina recovery. It is useful, guys, to if you're using her in extreme co-op or raids or anything like that, inheritance zone. Stamina recovery can be useful. It can save your life. It can save 2 orbs. But as far as damage output, it doesn't increase your damage output at all, which is why a lot of people don't like stamina recovery. But it's a very good soul trait for newer players. Momo, one of the better healers in the game because she is a recharge character, guys. She's also ranged, she has burn, and she has frenzy. So, I mean, there's really no drawbacks with Momo other than her kind of annoying screams when she does her strong attacks. Ugh. And with the recharge, you're going to be hearing those screams a lot. But still, very good healer, guys. Very good mind healer. The best in the game for mind. Also, they came out with Omeda, his first actual 5-star version. A lot of people don't like Omeda, but this character is actually really good, guys. He has frenzy and he has an enhanced boost. So, very good character, very good range on all his stuff. The only thing that might be a drawback to him is his crystal drop soul trait, but it's not really that much of a drawback. He still does good damage, and he still helps out the team with the boost. And crystal drop, it's decent. I think it's an okay soul trait for any type of PvE content. I think it's better than stamina recovery, in my opinion. Pretty decent banner there, not as hype as the ones we've seen before that, which were White Bay and Manga Round 3, but still a very good banner. We did need that canon Rangiku, the canon Momo, and the canon Omeda just so we had all the lieutenants in the game. And the mid-month banner for April did deliver. Alright, so after the Lieutenant banner, we had the end of the month for April, which saw the return of tag team characters. For this banner, we got Tag Team Izuru, Tag Team Shuhei, and Tag Team Yamamoto, which was interesting because we never actually saw Yamamoto's Zanpakuto spirit. And for the game, they just said it was the personification of fire, which, I'm okay with that. A little creative liberty sometimes is alright. I don't really remember if that was said in the actual anime, but the character came out great. All 3 of these characters still very usable to this day. You don't see them a lot, but they are very strong characters. As with all tag team characters, these guys have dual killer abilities. Tag Team Izuru can kill Soul Reapers and Arankars, which is very useful for a lot of different scenarios. He's also a damage reduction link, so if you want to use him as a link, he's very good. He's a frenzy character. He has weaken on some of his stuff. Just a very solid all-around character. The only drawback I would say is that because he is an SP-based character, he doesn't give you the best stats for linking him to Retsu. But, I mean, he's still, that doesn't make him a bad character at all. He's still very strong. You don't really see him that much, like I said, but still very good character for Izuru. Same thing with Shuhei. Nad, normal attack damage, ranged character. He has a vortex. He can kill captains and hollows. He has paralysis on strong attack 1 and on his special. And he's just solid all around. His Nad string is excellent. He can do great damage. He has high attack. Tag Team Shuhei, very good character. And Tag Team Yamamoto. In my opinion, guys, this is one of the better characters in the entire game for PvE content. He has very useful killers, Soul Reaper and Hollow. So he's going to do extra damage against, 2/3 of the enemies in this game, or something like that. Maybe half the enemies in this game. He also has a charge attack, which is very powerful. It hits almost a full screen. Strong attack damage, soul trait. He's ranged. He has frenzy. He burns on everything. And don't forget, he's fire immune. So a very strong character. This guy can do it all. He's good in so many situations. The only thing he'd be weak in is a blue raid or co-op or anything like that. But his killer abilities are awesome. His damage is awesome. Burn, I don't need to repeat it, guys. This is a great character, and if you're a Yamamoto fan, Yamamoto this year got two very, very strong versions, Tag Team Yamamoto and Technique Yamamoto. And I know it's not the same as getting a manga Yamamoto, but that's pretty dang good, guys. So I don't think Yamamoto fans should be complaining too much. Next banner, we're moving into May. And in the mid-month for May, we got the movie 3 banner, which was actually the Hellverse. The thing about this banner, guys, is that technically the Hellverse is movie 4. So we all expected that Dark Rukia would be coming out at this time. But, they flip-flopped on us, kind of surprised us a little bit. But, no big deal. I didn't mind it at all. Some people did. But these characters, we got Hell Ichigo, Kokoto, and Shuren. All three of these characters very good. Kokoto especially. He's been really useful in Guild Quest as of late. He's a recharge character. He has Frenzy. He has Weaken on Strong Attack 3 and Paralysis on his special. So very solid character. No real drawbacks to him. He's also classified as no affiliation. So people don't have the killer advantage on him, or very few characters can have the killer advantage on him. Really solid character. Full screen third. Nothing really bad to say about him. Hell Ichigo. Here's another character that I kind of think that people were disappointed in. He's a normal attack damage character with an upgraded normal attack damage soul trait. So he gets 25 normal attack damage for power. He also has a Vortex, which is actually a really good Vortex. And he has Weaken on Strong Attack 3 and his special. So, you combine that with his pretty decent stats and, visually, guys, the visuals of a character also count for something. He's awesome looking. I love his attacks, the way they look. They kind of have a gold coloring to them. The Vortex looks awesome as well, and the actual character model is pretty badass too. He's got the skull on half of his face. I think he's a really good Ichigo. I didn't get him. I tried a little bit. I didn't go crazy trying to get him, but if he comes back, I'll definitely give it another multi or two. Shuren also. People were really disappointed in Shuren because, if you don't have Frenzy or Flurry, people are immediately saying that, you're not good. But I think Shuren still is pretty good. He's got over 700 attack and SP. He's also a damage reduction character with ranged attacks, and he has Burn and Bombardment. So he's got a lot of things going for him. He's also fire immune, guys. I think a lot of people forget that. So he can run through fire hazards, no problem. And being a no affiliation character, he also has not a lot of vulnerabilities to other killers. Shuren's pretty solid, in my opinion. I don't have him, so I can't speak about his mechanics too much, but just because a character is not a Frenzy character or a Flurry character, it doesn't mean they're immediately trashed. I think that's a misconception that a lot of people have, because think about it. Yes, he'll do less damage on his strong attacks, but he makes it up for the most part in his normal attack damage. A 701 normal attack, if you compare it to a Frenzy character, that's almost 80 or 80 something points more attack than a Frenzy character. So, it kind of balances out a little bit. Maybe not all the way, but, they're definitely not useless characters, the hybrids. Okay, guys, 2 more banners to go for this video, and we're now going to go into the end of the month for May, which was a really freaking hype banner for me. I went crazy on this banner. I spent a lot of orbs trying to get all 3. We have the Parasols. Parasol Noitera, Parasol Neliel, and Parasol Xyle. Parasol Xyle I wasn't that hype on, but Noitera and Neliel, oh man, I really wanted both of those characters. Unfortunately, I only got Noitera. Next time Neliel comes out, I'll definitely try to get her again. But Noitera, great character. Nothing really bad to say about him. He's recharged, ranged. He has burn on almost everything. He also has a charged attack and weakened defense. So very strong character. He's been good in a few guild quests this year. So just a great character. And he's Noitera. My favorite Espada is actually Noitera, believe it or not. Parasol Neliel. Neliel is awesome also. One of my favorite female characters. Probably my second favorite female character behind Rukia. Normal attack damage, 25 soul trait. She also has paralysis on some of her attacks, and she has a vortex. This character, she's not a top tier unit. She's not that strong, but she's still pretty solid, guys. She's decent. The vortex really helps her out. She's got quick attacks, decent stats, and she's Neliel, so automatically she gets points just for being Neliel. Xyloporo, strong attack damage 20, He has Frenzy, he has Poison on everything, and he's also Poison immune. So a decent character for Parasol Xyle as well. He has a pretty funny special. He looks like Mary Poppins when he does it. He floats down with his parasol kind of like as a parachute. He kind of has a janky first strong attack. He doesn't move forward on it. It's kind of just like a ring around him. But other than that, he's decent. He's decent. And that brings us to the final banner for this video. We're exactly halfway through. There were 24 banners this year, and this is the 12th banner of the year. Mid-June, the final movie banner featuring your boy Tonberry's favorite character, most wanted character in the game, Doc Rukia, K-Lab. Doc Rukia. Also featured were Homura and Shizuku and Kisuke. Now, Dark Rukia, a lot of people were hyped for her. I got her. I was hyped for her. But, she has not aged well. She is kind of not as strong as a lot of other characters because primarily of her range. Her strong attack 1 and 2 are not really that good. The strong attack 1 has basically 0 range. Strong attack 2, it has decent range forward, but not to the sides. It's kind of just like, it's almost like a laser beam. It's very narrow. And the charge attack's okay, but it's not great. She does have weaken on most of her things, and she has no affiliation, but it's just her mechanics that hold her back. Homura and Shizuku, this is a very unique character, guys. We haven't seen one like this one since. It's a normal attack damage character with the switching mechanic. So, you can switch from one of the twins to the other. And the interesting thing about that is that when you switch, you go from ranged attacks to melee attacks. So that can be useful. That is useful in a lot of scenarios, guys. So being able to switch from a ranged unit to a melee unit on the fly like that, very, very, very useful in things like extreme co-op or anything where there's a lot of range guard or melee guard and you don't want to use a certain type of attack. Very interesting mechanic. I hope they do more characters like that. But it doesn't really make sense for any other characters because this is technically 2 characters, Homura and Shizuku. But I did like that mechanic. I didn't get this character, but she is very strong. Kisuke, man, they did Kisuke semi-dirty again. They once again gave him 25 stamina recovery. And I remember when people found that out, people were freaking out. They were like, God, why do they keep doing this to Kisuke? RIP movie Kisuke with the 25 stamina recovery soul trait. He still has good stats. He has 765 attack. He is a normal attack ranged unit, so he does decent damage. He's got paralysis on his special, strong attack 1, strong attack 3, I think. So he's got a decent kit, but once again, it's the soul trait that holds him back. So that is the characters we had for the first half of 2018, guys. Not a bad batch. There are some ones that were kind of disappointing, but there were also some ones that were awesome. That's it for this video, guys. We'll talk about the second half of 2018 in my next video. We'll go over the rest. What was your favorite character of the ones I talked about? For me, Parasol Neutra, that was one of my favorites of this year. I know he's not the strongest meta-wise or, for doing raids and stuff, but still one of my favorite characters. Some of the characters I missed that I wanted, White Day Stark. I did want White Day Stark because he is Stark. The Manga Round 3 banner was a highlight for me with Renji and Rukia. I went all in on that one to get all 3 of those. Unfortunately, I only got 2 out of 3. I mean, I guess that's pretty lucky. 2 out of 3 is not unfortunate. I will continue tomorrow. Let me know what you think once again, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.